the Chargers traded Keenan Allen to the Bears for a 4th-round pick. Now, how surprised were you that Keenan Allen is not going to be wearing a Los Angeles Chargers uniform this upcoming season, Drew?
I was very surprised. I thought that he would end up retiring a Charger because he's just been so consistent for them. I look at these past 2 seasons. I understand he did miss some time, but at the age of 31, for majority of this season, 31 years old, he puts up over 1,200 yards and almost has double-digit touchdowns, has 7 touchdowns. And this is missing time. This is also with Justin Herbert missing time also. And so it was just a crapshoot. It was a terrible situation over there in L.A. But why I understand the move is because Keenan Allen's getting paid a lot of money. And that's a big cap hit, especially for a team that you're going to pay an older receiver. You're trying your best to build for the future, especially with the new regime and Jim Harbaugh taking over at the helm. You have an identity that they've clearly put themselves, that's what their plan is. Yeah. We want to be a run-first team. Even though we have one of the best passers in the game, we're going to be a run-first team because Greg Roman is our OC. We're bringing in Gus Edwards. We're trying to build up this line. But getting rid of Keenan Allen and also cutting Mike Will in the same offseason, You're trying your hardest to make the Justin Herbert haters come out the woodworks and really violate him. I don't anticipate this to be an over-the-top statistical season for Herbert when you have Quentin Johnson. And I like Josh Palmer. Josh Palmer's actually a good wide receiver.
He was hurt last year, though. Yeah.
But you're going to send out Quentin Johnson, who for majority of last season was the butt of every joke for a majority of people talking about first-round wide receivers? I mean, go look at those first-round receivers. All of them are pretty damn good, except for him, unfortunately, where we currently stand. I'm not fully out on Quinn. I still think it's a little too early to immediately say he's going to be a bust. But cutting Mike, cutting Keenan, I thought you'd keep one of those. Trading him for a 4th, especially at his age, I don't think that he goes undervalued or overvalued, but I look at the Bears side of things and think, hey, you gave up a 4th-round pick for a guy that's going to come in, immediately give you that veteran presence. You're going to play him alongside DJ Moore immediately. We're talking about one of the better wide receiver duos in the league. And Caleb Williams is going to be in there day one throwing to 2 stars. He's going to be in an amazing situation. And off rip, that's exactly what you want your potential future franchise quarterback to be in. A situation where he's comfortable immediately. A lot of quarterbacks wish that they had that. I know that you're looking at Bryce Young over there, and it's a drastic difference what he's going into as opposed to what Caleb's going to.
It's night and day. I mean, 2 years ago with the Bears, you look at the weapons Justin Fields had, and it wasn't much.
Nope.
And now Caleb Williams comes in. You've got Keenan Allen. He had a 200-yard game this last season. And you're pointing, he had 1,200 yards in 13 games. He was on pace for 15-16. And for him to be your number 2 with their running game, I know it's probably going to take a step back without Justin Fields, but you have Khalil Herbert, you have Roschon Johnson. I think they're both better than DeAndre Swift. But the offensive line's growth as well. I think the biggest part of Keenan Allen going to Chicago is that they're building a complete offense. The Chargers side of things, it's obvious. He had a $23 million cap hit the Bears are going to take in. But this is one of those teams that can't afford to take that on for this year. And that's going to be so important for Caleb as a rookie because a lot of his issues seem to be playing on time. And with Keenan Allen, you want to be on time when he breaks the top of his release. So that's probably going to help Caleb just reinforce the right habits in the pocket. And if that's going to help him grow his first 2 years, you don't got to worry about Keenan Allen being gone long term because it's really a next year type of move, like a rental to me.
This is a great move for the Bears. You're getting Caleb Williams more help. You know, there's still some delusional Justin Fields fans out there that think that he's still going to be the guy.
I won't be mean to them. They're going through a lot right now.
They are going through a lot, but they deserve it.
Oh, goodness.
Because they propped up
Justin Fields
as
a good dude.
MVP last season.
That's where I can't defend him.
He got an MVP vote.
They called Jordan Love
year,
trash.
Right?
And then just for Justin Fields to be replaced a year after.
You're right.
You mentioned a good
Kinda
point
cooked.
earlier. When we was talking about this move specifically, you said the Bears last year had the first overall pick. They missed out on C.J. Stroud or Bryce Young, whatever you want to go with.
Are you going to talk about what it turned into?
Of course.
Goodness.
Of course. We are.
You're right.
But still, they missed out on drafting a franchise quarterback.
Yep.
They cannot do the same thing 2 years in a row.
No way.
And Caleb Williams, as much as I love CJ, he's a better prospect
He is.
than CJ
Better
and Bryce
prospect.
Young.
Mhm.
That's just what Caleb Williams is. A lot of the hate for Caleb Williams right now is rooted, I think, in toxic masculinity because of the way he paints his nails. He was seen wearing a dress, and a lot of people are making their judgments and their analysis on him as a player
Nothing
on what
to-
he
yes.
wears.
Ridiculous.
That's what is going on. But Caleb Williams is a great elite level prospect, and I think if he's in a good situation in the NFL, he will be darn good.
Let me ask you your opinion, both of you guys, on him not wanting to release his medical records to all 32. Now, I have my own opinion, but I'd love to hear yours.
I didn't have a problem with it whatsoever, and I feel like maybe people could have thought that he was acting egotistical, but all he was doing was spitting facts. There's only a select few of teams that can draft me.
For sure.
Therefore, all 32 NFL teams do not need my medicals.
Not at all.
I don't need to give my medicals to the Kansas City Chiefs. I know that the Chiefs aren't drafting me. They have Mahomes. That's how Caleb approached the situation.
I agree.
There's only a few teams that are in the running to actually get me. Those are the teams that need to know my medicals. The other teams, they don't need to know that.
Exactly. It's an odd situation because he didn't do the throwing or the running drills, and a lot of people had something to say about it. At the end of the day, to me, I don't think it's a big issue. I mean, this is the number one ranked prospect in the class. I don't know why people care so much, other than the fact they're just looking for something new to talk about. Because prospect fatigue is also a real thing, and people want to find a way to merit someone who's been propped up. They did it with many other guys in the past, and quite frankly, it doesn't matter. I really don't think anyone should care.
I'm with you. Listen, if he can keep that private and only one team realistically is going to draft him, it's going to be the Chicago Bears, why allow the other 31 teams to have access to that? Joel, you said it perfectly.
The NFL right now is kind of telling us how they feel about Fields because every quarterback has gotten traded.
Everyone.
Sam Howell went to the Seahawks. Kenny Pickett just got traded to the
Desmond
Eagles.
Ridder.
Yep. Sam
Desmond
Howell.
Ridder to the Cardinals. Exactly. Every quarterback has
class.
changed teams that
been a rough offseason
were
for that draft
that
class.
were changing teams. That draft class outside of Brock
Quarterback
Purdy.
class.
Terrible. It was terrible. Brock Purdy
Rough.
is the saving grace of that
was the
quarterback
last one
draft
taken.
class. Yeah, exactly. So the NFL is kind of telling us how they feel about Justin Fields. I don't think this is a situation where the Bears are just asking for an obscene amount of draft picks. I don't think that's the case. And you mentioned something just now that you think the running attack could take a step back because Fields isn't there. I think it could improve because if you have a better passer in the offense, now you give defenses something to worry about, more to worry about on the
can't stack
back
the
end.
box.
On a
the way they once
statistical
would.
per game basis, I understand what you're saying. They may not be as
And volume
prolific in
and
that,
yards.
correct?
Their yards are going to go down.
But
Their efficiency could go up.
efficiency could go up for sure.
The Bears last
was
season,
efficient.
their rushing attack, they faced a top 10 rate of loaded boxes.
Yeah.
So if you have a better passing attack, those
It
are going to
opens
be
up
lighter
the
boxes.
entire game.
Exactly. So I think for the Bears, this was a great big time move. With the Chargers, I know it's very easy right now to look at what they're doing and looking at the receiving group and saying, man, it looks very rough. But I am a firm believer in who Jim Harbaugh is and the
Absolutely.
teams that he's built.
Never doubt him.
And I am going to see how all of this plays out because I don't think Justin Herbert come the season will be with this receiving core. I think they're going to add talent.
Malik Neighbors is coming in.
I think it's going to be Roma Dunze.
Okay.
I think it's going to be Roma
I don't think
Dunze.
Neighbors makes it.
I think Roma Dunze.
Gone at 4?
I think so.
So you think Marvin's gone at 3?
That's my belief.
Interesting. That'd be cool.
I think Dunze fits them better as a run blocker, that physicality, and he's not as explosive as Neighbors, but he's still a great wide receiver prospect in his own right. The Chargers cut Mike Will. They freed up $20 million cap space. Jim Harbaugh and company got Joey Bosa and Khalil Mack to take pay cuts to stick with the team, so they didn't have to release those players, and now they're on the team next year, and that's huge, especially if they stay healthy. Keenan Allen is getting paid $23 million this year. That's his cap hit. They went to him and asked him to take a pay cut. He said no. That's his decision. You got to respect his decision, and therefore they traded him. It's a 4th-round pick number 110. This seems like the perfect area where Jim Harbaugh can draft Blake Corum.
Okay.
This seems like the perfect area. So I think Blake Corum probably gets drafted with this pick that they got with the Keenan Allen trade. And the Chargers now, by trading Keenan Allen, they have $28 million in cap space. So if they kept Keenan, that just would have been 5.
Yep.
So now the Chargers are able to make more moves. Who's to say that they don't sign somebody like Tyler Boyd still, and they improve the receiving core, and then they use that 5th overall pick on a receiver. Now we're kind of looking at the receiving core in a much better light. So I think this move gave them more flexibility, And that's why I'm going to trust Jim Harbaugh and his direction, because I think that the Chargers will be a force to be reckoned with, and the culture that he is building will be something that we will all appreciate and understand as one of the better coaches in football.
That's a fine thought process to have. As I'm with you, Harbaugh, you need to trust him, especially if you're a Chargers fan. You've gone through some hell. This is the best coach that you could have possibly gotten. I'm with you. You put blind faith in him. But if you're telling me that if Rome Odunze comes to town, it's a different conversation. I'm with you. Or Malik Neighbors. Either which way they go about it, I will not be upset. I think both are very high-level prospects. But if it's Tyler Boyd, Quentin Johnston, and Josh Palmer, come opening day, we got a fucking problem. Drafting Joe Alt makes sense. You could put him at right tackle, opposite side of Rashawn Slater. Makes a lot of sense. You cannot go into opening day with Tyler Boyd, Quentin Johnston, and Josh Palmer. I am a fan of Josh Palmer. I think he is a very underappreciated talent. He is probably the best wide receiver 3 in the game. Yeah. Right next to a Tyler Boyd, who was right there next to him. It can't be your wide receiver core. You have to do better for Justin Herbert. Because honestly, we talk about how great Justin Herbert is, and I'm with you. Keenan Allen, Mike Will, Austin Eckler. He's had some good weapons to throw to, but this is simply unacceptable if that's what the lineup's going to be opening day. But in Harbaugh, we trust. Agreed.
I'm not worried about it, because with the 5th and 37th overall pick, you could double dip on receiver. You could take Joe Alt at 5 and then a receiver at 37. But the big thing is this is the draft class where you're comfortable having just one going in, and you can take 2 and come out just fine. And plus, there's a good amount of receivers. You mentioned one, Tyler Boyd. Michael Thomas is one. You've got Josh Reynolds, even Odell. There's a lot. Okay, Odell wasn't healthy this last year, but there's a lot of different guys you can still get as that 3rd or 4th piece.
Just depth pieces.
Exactly. Someone to basically be a warm body, if you will.
I think the Keenan trade pretty much all
solidified
it cancels that Joe Alt will be the pick at 5 or offensive lineman. I think it's 100% going to be wide receiver, given they just traded Keenan Allen and they cut Mike Will.
And also left tackle, and they already have one. Rashawn
So I think 100% is going to be wide receiver. And then if they want to double dip in the second round, then that's on them.
Yeah.
But I think they're in a good position going forward. I mean, their defense is coming back. They re-signed Alohi Goldman, their free safety, who was good last season. They brought back Khalil Mack and Joey Bosa. They signed some beef in that defensive line and interior with Poona Ford. They got a body there. So, the defense is going to be solid. And then the offensive line should be much better. They should have an actual rushing attack with Greg Roman implementing a system. Now, it's just about the receiver. You have the perfect pick to draft one. So I think they're in a great position. You mentioned, one of you guys, about DJ Moore and Keenan Allen now becomes one of the best wide receiver duos in football.
For sure.
So I'm going to name you these wide receiver duos. You tell me if it's better than the duo of DJ Moore and Keenan Allen. Let's see where this duo ranks. The new Bears wide receiver duo ranks amongst the top NFL wide receiver duos. Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle.
Dolphins, for sure.
Easily got to go Miami.
Chase and Higgins.
Chase and Higgins.
For now, because this may not exist in a couple of weeks, but that's same exact tier as Dolphins. That's a 1A tier.
The next
1A group.
The next duo, A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith.
Eagles.
Philadelphia's got something special.
Smitty is unbelievable.
So we got 3 so far. Brandon Ayuk and Deebo Samuel. I'm going with the 49ers.
Yeah.
I doubt Deebo's traded, but it's similar to Cincinnati, where it's like, this may not be a duo in a couple of months.
This is where the conversations can be fun. Because I still love Deebo. And obviously Brandon Ayuk, his work speaks for himself. He's amazing.
The best receiver in this group.
He is.
But 2 and 3 would be DJ and Keenan, and 4, I think, would notably there'd be.
It's a shame because when Deebo is healthy, he's amazing. When he's healthy, he can do what very few other wide receivers in the league can. I will go with the Niners, but this one is the closest one so far.
I'll also go with San Francisco's. Very tight. I think they just complement each other better.
Puka Nacua and Cooper Kupp.
Fuck, you're pulling that heartstrings.
It's a very challenging one. Because a lot of their success, especially Puka, it could be.
Are we talking a healthy Cooper? Healthy Cooper?
No,
at this point, it just feels like what Cooper Kupp is right now. So I think that right there makes it so the Bears might have the edge. Because who do you trust to be better next year, Keenan Allen or Cooper Kupp?
Keenan Allen.
If Keenan's healthy, because this is 2 seasons in a row we've seen Keenan miss extended periods of time. That's the only reason why. Yeah. If we're getting both healthy, I will go with the Rams.
And who's better, DJ Moore or Puka Nacua?
DJ Moore. I mean, I love Puka. special player, but he is elevated in a way from the quarterback playing coaching that DJ Moore has never been in his career. DJ Moore's a top 10 receiver in football.
Like if I was the Rams, I might be like, I would rather have DJ Moore than Puka Nacua.
He just did this in year one,
No, he
though.
did.
You're right. The production would easily tell you Puka, but when you consider what DJ Moore has went through from a coaching perspective, Luke Getsy, the Panthers coaching, and the quarterback play he's had, I think you've got to give the credit to DJ Moore.
I'll say this. Yes, Matthew Stafford throwing the ball to Puka Nacua does make a drastic difference.
Yeah, Puka's nice though.
But he is.
yeah.
But DJ Moore was not the wide receiver that we saw for a majority of that season without Justin Fields. Justin Fields and him
shit.
were the.
I'm
I'm with
Bagley
you.
throwing the football. What do you
For
expect?
sure. That is what to be expected, but he was not good in that span.
He did though.
He was not really as productive. Nowhere near.
Hey, look, he still finished with 1,385 total yards.
And how many did Puka have?
1,400.
Oh, I thought it was 15
maybe
and a half to
total.
16.
Let me see what Puka finished with.
Nacua
To break the
was
record, that'd be 16. Oh, it was
unbelievable.
14.
Puka finished with 1486.
And how many touchdowns?
6 touchdowns.
God, I mean,
But Puka had
and the
nearly
most receptions of rookie
Yes,
season,
but
correct?
Puka had 1,575 yards from scrimmage because he had over 100 rushing.
I'm gonna be transparent here. I'm going with the Rams.
Of course you are.
I'm going with the Rams.
Not surprised.
I mean, it's a toss-up. Justin Jefferson and Jordan Addison.
Jettas. I'm just gonna go with the Vikings because of
Me too.
Jettas.
I'm going with
The
the Vikings.
ceiling here and just how well Jordan Addison complements Jettas. I will
Facts.
also go
It is a great
Minnesota.
yin and yang. I agree with that.
Mike Evans and Chris Godwin.
Oh,
I'm going with the Bears.
Comfortably
No
going with
slight to
Chicago.
Godwin. I like Godwin. I feel like he's become underrated. It's the Bears.
definitely got to go with Chicago here.
You are. I feel
I
like
think
this
it's
is a
pretty
close
clear.
one.
It is
Mike,
close.
Mike Evans.
Clear? I can't say that.
Mike Evans or
It's
DJ
close.
Moore?
DJ Moore.
You think so? Mike Evans just had his 10 straight 1,000-yard season.
Yes, but DJ Moore's got a higher ceiling as a receiver, I would argue. And this
No,
is
he
important,
does.
I think Keenan Allen clears Chris Godwin.
He does.
Oh, he does.
He'll clear
That's the one that's a clearer. But Mike Evans and DJ Moore, you can make an argument for Mike Evans.
You can.
can,
I
but
honestly
it's
think he
based off
still
of what
would
he's
go
done.
Mike.
Yeah,
He
I
still would go
too.
Mike.
It's just based off his consistency.
Let
but
me
not
ask you,
his
were you expecting
upside.
him to tweak like he did last season? Be as great as he was last season? No way.
I expect him having a 1,000-yard season.
I mean, obviously.
He finished with 1,255 and 13 touchdowns. That's pretty
That's
remarkable.
fucking nuts.
Yeah.
So the duos I named are the harder duos. Let's see if any of these are duos that you're taking the Bears duo over, or duos that you're taking this duo over the Bears. Kyron Ridley and DeAndre Hopkins.
That had to be one you named. I would go with the Bears out of respect for DJ Moore. I feel like DJ Moore, at this current moment in time, is the best receiver of the bunch. And then Keenan and DeAndre right now is honestly a conversation. And then I just look at Calvin right now, who was better than I feel like a lot of people give him credit for last season. But I lean Bears.
If you asked me this in 2020, it would most definitely be Tennessee's group. But I have to go with Chicago
4 years
right
later.
now. Yeah.
I'm going with the Bears as well. Nico Collins and Tank Dell.
Fuck. I'm going with the Bears. But man, that Texans receiving core is going to be great one day.
Both of these teams, they went from
Like
having
one
no
of the best,
receiver
I should
corps
say. It's
to
already
two
great.
of the best duos.
Correct. It's already great, but one of the best ones in some time. It's so long as Tank can stay healthy.
Nico Collins is here as like a top 15 receiver. I think he's very close to that top 10 tier, honestly, and he's going to continue to prove that.
Love him.
I would have to go with Chicago, though. I just have just more. I think they deserve more credit for what they've done long term.
I'm going with the Bears as well. DK Metcalf and Tyler Lockett.
When is it going to be JSN's time, man? I'm going with the Bears.
Also going to go Chicago comfortably.
If this was 2 years ago, maybe.
I'm going with the Bears too. Stephon Diggs and Curtis Samuel.
Okay, so let's move on. Bears.
Curtis Samuel respect? We're not respecting Curtis
Let's
Samuel?
respect Curtis Samuel,
three.
one of the most underrated wide receivers in the league.
But the
We've
question
said
is,
this. Better duo.
It is Keenan Allen basically versus Curtis Samuel. And
Devontae Adams and Jacoby Myers.
Yo, Jacoby Myers is really fucking
No, I
good.
know. He's underrated. Yeah, he is. He's good.
I would
really good
I would
player.
still go
Definitely.
with the Bears, but that's a really good wide receiving duo.
What about Hollywood Brown and Rasheed Rice?
You know my opinions on both of those players. I hate that they're Chiefs. I like them both. I really like the both
Plaza
of them.
Chief fan over here. I'll have to go Chicago
Calm the
again.
fuck down there, Johnny.
But-
all right.
But seems like this Bears duo is top four. Top four.
Yeah, it seems like they're in that area, top 5, 4 to 6 area, because the only names that we said were better
Dolphins.
as a whole, the Dolphins, the Bengals, the Eagles, The 49ers.
Yep.
That's 4. And
Yep.
then number 5, Puka and Cup could be debated. Oh,
Yeah.
Jefferson, Addison.
Yep.
We put them we put them
that
there
top
too.
6, top 7 range, which is still
Yes.
great to be in. Especially, this is arguably the best situation a rookie quarterback has gone into.